I believe that ICP is amazing because reaching the price of $500 during this bull run, that wouldn't surprise me at all, even though that's not a guarantee nor financial advice. But even if we take a look at the founder of the internet computer, what does he say? He says how 95% of the blockchains out there are just junk and they're just selling snake oil. Now, I'm not going to deny this statement because I do think that a lot of blockchains out there, they're complete caca, especially compared to the internet computer, because once I take a look at the internet computer, a lot of the competitors, it just kind of feels like complete trash in my opinion, because first of all, you got to understand how, allegedly speaking, right, the internet computer is statistically the world's most productive blockchain, which is insane to think about. A lot of people out there seem to think that the internet computer doesn't have anything going on for it, but it's actually very amazing. Does it have the biggest ecosystem? No. Does it have the most amount of fans? Absolutely not. Does it have the most hype? No. And does it, again, have the most attention, let's say overall? No in all those categories. But it doesn't mean that it's bad, because projects like this, they're not focused on gaining fans. They're not focused on getting attention. And again, if we take a look at this statement right here, why is a lot of blockchains out there complete junk? Because many of them, they focus on advertising. They focus on partnering up with celebrities, athletes. But that doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, in my opinion. Sure, is it going to gain attention in the short term? Yeah. Is it going to gain a lot of hype, in the short term? I think so, but it doesn't really mean that it's going to be good for the long term, because those type of projects, we don't know how long they're going to be around for. Maybe one cycle, maybe max two, but then beyond that, we don't know. But when it comes to the internet computer, I think it's going to be around for a very long time because it's actually very amazing. This is the type of project that would rather spend millions towards building and developing as opposed to millions towards advertising in random nonsense. You know what I mean? A lot of other projects out there, they want to get exchange listings, all this type of stuff. They don't really focus on the real deal fundamentals. But in this case, the internet computer, it's focused on decentralizing the internet. That's very amazing in my opinion. It's focused on AI, right? AI, we all know, is going to be the next big thing. So they're focused on all the right markets. Now, some people out there, they may think that, oh yeah, when it comes to the internet computer, they should be a lot better as of right now. If it was so good, why is the price of ICP not doing the best? My response to that is this. In the world of cryptocurrencies, low prices doesn't necessarily mean bad fundamentals, because you take a look at Luna Classic. Is it a very small project? No, it's still pretty massive actually. And does it mean that it's good? No, I mean, it's complete caca, right? People just treat it like a meme coin basically as of right now. But it's even a little bit worse than a meme coin because, the history that it has is complete trash. But yeah, besides that point, when I take a look at the internet computer, people often underestimate it, but I'm not. Now, we take a look at the second thing. We take a look at how around a week ago, the internet computer cross-chain protocol usage up 13 times amid Bitcoin decentralized finance boom. Now, this is DeFi, but that stands for decentralized finance. I think this right here is very impressive because you take a look at, again, up 13 times. That's crazy right there. I mean, that, if anything, showcases the activity that is still going on with the internet computer. It's not like something that's pretty much off into the abyss, if that makes sense. This could be amazing because if you take a look at the aspect of DeFi, right, decentralized finance, this market is predicted to be pretty massive actually in the very near future, according to Grandview Research. According to them, the decentralized finance market is predicted to be worth over $200 billion by 2030. So yeah, that's insane right there. That's very crazy in my opinion. Now, is it going to be the biggest market out there moving forward? No, but it's still pretty decent nonetheless. It's bigger than some countries' GDP, and it's not like 2030 is even that far anyways. We're so close to 2025. But even besides that point, this is very amazing news when it comes to the internet computer because you take a look at the Bitcoin ETF. That's so massive for Bitcoin. Bitcoin is just going to continue to grow from here on out. Even though, personally speaking, I wouldn't want to acquire any Bitcoin as of right now because I just think the room for growth isn't there. But even still, despite that, I do believe that there is room for growth, especially in the long term. And there is a lot of fans. There's a lot of hype. The Bitcoin ETF is amazing for the whole crypto space overall. So I like seeing stuff like this when it comes to the internet computer. Other projects out there, they don't care about this type of stuff, but they do. And it's not like exposure for ICP is necessarily bad. It's listed in a lot of major exchanges. Some people like to say, okay, $500 for ICP seems kind of trash because they say that, okay, that's only around a 57x from here. They think that if anything is not at least a 100x, that means it's complete trash. But for me, anything over a 10x, I think is a big bonus. Now, that's just my opinion. No one has to follow what I'm saying, but then I'm just saying, this right here, I don't think it's bad whatsoever. ICP is not the smallest project out there, so I don't think the risk is that intense. Now, there's always going to be risks, I get that, but then it's not like it's a microcap that we're dealing with here. But then at the same time, it's not a dinosaur. It's not something that can't really do much during this bull run in terms of like doing over a 20x, let's say like Ethereum, BNB, Solana, or like a Bitcoin. They can't do over a 20x from right now in the next 6 months to a year. But I think that ICP could very well do that, hypothetically, because market cap isn't too crazy. Again, it's pretty big in a sense compared to like microcaps, mid caps, but it's not too massive, if that makes sense again, right? So I think the future is still very amazing for the internet computer. And not to mention, when you have over 500 million crypto owners, when you have, again, this many institutional investors and enterprise adoption, I don't see why the bull run is going to be bad. Now, again, 500 million crypto owners over that, right, is according to Crypto.com research. And some people seem to think that 2021 was like the peak of cryptocurrencies in terms of altcoins. But I disagree, because actually during the peak of that, bull run, there was roughly only around 300 million crypto owners. Now, again, there's over 500 million. To be somewhat exact, there's currently over 600 million. So that's kind of crazy to think about. I think this bull run could be much more fantastic, but it's just a waiting game really at this point. I know it's a little bit boring, but it is what it is, right? I'm going to be waiting anyways. So instead of being bored, I'd much rather just dollar cost average, anytime an income, acquire, hold, and I just wait, because I like to keep it simple. And that's it. That's the only thing I do. It doesn't require any technical skills or capabilities. It's just that simple. At least that's the way I view it. Not to mention as well, when I take a look at, how this bull run could very well end, in terms of like what it could be, I think that as Bitcoin goes to the price of $150,000 and maybe even beyond, which all signs, by the way, are indicating they could very well do that. Could you imagine what happens to the altcoin season? It could look so amazing. Now, different altcoins, they do peak at different times. And I'm not saying that, ICP is going to peak at this exact moment, but let's say around 6 months to a year from right now, I think things could be a totally different story. When I was talking about ICP, like over a year ago, let's say, for instance, right? When I was talking about it then, everyone was saying it's trash, all this type of stuff. Then it had a pretty good pump. Now it had a somewhat big pullback. Now it's having a little bit of a recovery in a sense. Things are still somewhat very volatile. But I think people are still kind of 50-50 as of right now when it comes to the world of cryptocurrencies, more specifically when it comes to altcoins, because we're seeing big projects pump, but we haven't really seen other projects beyond like meme coins, AI projects, and also, again, some of the big ones really have that attention. We haven't seen that 2021 euphoric moment yet when it feels like everything is just very bullish and the euphoria is very high. We haven't seen that, but it's just a matter of time, because history doesn't always repeat itself, but it tends to rhyme. So again, I think around 6 months to a year from right now, we could totally see a different story. ICP isn't doing bad, by the way. It's still one of the biggest projects out there in terms of, the grand scheme of things. But I think that eventually it's going to have its day. It's holding pretty strong as of right now, but I think better days are ahead, because when, the FOMO, the buying pressure, the buying volume is really at an intense level, people sometimes just don't really care. They just FOMO into pretty much anything. Like, for instance, I had people that I knew, back in 2021, they were FOMOing into ADA, Cardano's native token, and they didn't even know what it was about. They don't know what a layer 1 blockchain is. They thought it was a meme coin, So when it comes to ICP, we haven't seen that moment yet. But I think that, again, it's just a waiting game, and I'm willing to wait. I'm willing to stay patient, because I've been waiting, for quite a while now. A lot of people, more specifically, they've been waiting ever since 2021. So let's say like 6 months to a year. If they've been waiting through all of that, if they've been through like the FTX crash, Celsius, the Sam Bankman-Fried nonsense, right? The Terra Luna crash, all this type of stuff, this somewhat seems like easy peasy. At least that's the way I view it. Now, it's just my opinion. But again, I'm willing to stay patient. I'm going to wait, because ICP at the price of $500, that wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. Considering current circulating supply at that point, market cap would be around $237 billion, which is over $300 billion less than Ethereum's all-time high market cap. I just don't see why that'd be too crazy, especially when I consider how the internet computer, it's the world's most productive blockchain. I think it's very wonderful. So again, I don't see why not. Hypothetically speaking, not financial advice. And make sure to subscribe if you gain value from this video. I'd greatly appreciate it. It's Willie the Captain, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.